Wine Festival 2017. Today we have a dinner reservations over at Le Cellier. So we're going to, at least the first half of this part of the day is going to be primarily drink based, which should be interesting. What we start off here is not technically part of the Food and Wine Festival, but it is something that I try to do every single time that I'm down here. Is right behind me you can see the Mexico Pavilion, and what we end up doing all the time when we come down here is enjoying nachos and margaritas. We have two different ones here. So the loaded nachos are, this is everything on there. You can sour cream, jalapenos, beef, you name it. It's cheese. It's delicious, quite a bit. As I said, I get it every single time I'm down here. We try not to avoid getting it, or not getting it rather, I should say, just because it is quite so good. I know it's just nachos, but it's probably the best version of nachos I have in most places. So it's all the bad things you want in nachos. For the drinks, pretty standard. They did have a coconut lime passion fruit thing, but it's pretty standard. I got the Patron lime, and she has the Avon lime over there. She's not a big fan of the salt, so it's just that. It's delicious. I'm not a big tequila person, but you just got it when you're down here. We are doing one booth though at the moment. So we are currently having, we have the Farm Fresh has a cider flight. Now we will be back at Farm Fresh to get some food later, but we're doing the flight right now. Okay, so what do we got here? Since you're more the surprise, Mr. Tasel. So we got a couple different things here.
So we have the Gumption Sisters Freak Hard Cider, the Woodchuck Raspberry, and then my favorite, the Elderberry Cream Hard Cider.
Now, we've had some of these previously. I know the Elderberry Cream we had previous years, and probably when we come back, we're probably going to have more of it. So, there's that. I'm not big on beers. I like my ciders, though. So, this is the Citrus Freak Hard Cider. That's odd tasting, actually. Not necessarily bad, but very fresh. More like a Granny Smith, like a.
It tastes a little weird after having it all, you know.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Again, spicy then sweet. Not necessarily a good ratio there. I don't know. It has an odd. Almost. Are you sure this isn't the raspberry?
Yes. The raspberry was the one in the middle.
Okay. It's sort of got that weird poppy raspberry flavor, even though this is
definitely
not the raspberry. It's not bad. 2.5. It's not what I expected from a cider. It's good in its own right, but it's not what I expected from the drink. What would you give that? As she's taking a giant bite. You know what? Why don't I just move ahead to the next one here? This is the raspberry one. Oh yeah, that's definitely raspberry. It's also a little watered down. It's not as full flavored as I expected. I'll probably give that one
I'd give the first one
2.
a 2, and I'd give the raspberry a 2 also.
Okay,
the
so
elderberry always gets a 5 from me. So.
well, hopefully this year it keeps up again. So let's see, elderberry. A lot of flavor, although that's a little more watered down than I remember too.
It's gotta be the nachos affecting this.
Yeah, it's gotta be the nachos throwing this off. It's good. Not as flavorful as I remember.
Oh, it's so good.
Probably a 3.5 for me on that one. Still 5. Okay, so she's saying a 5. Personally, I'm used to my ciders being a little bit more full, a little bit more rich. But yeah, so that's what we have right now. So I'm gonna finish my nachos down here, my Robert. Why can't I think of the word already? It's not margarita, right? Margaritas and our ciders. And we'll continue on around here. As I said, we're gonna be primarily doing drinks for the rest of this afternoon before dinner over at Le Cellier. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. And then later this evening, we'll probably hit some more actual food booths, so we can actually finish, because we have a lot of booths. There's 30 of these things ahead of us, and we're going back to 2 of them so far, because we're going back to Belgium in the morning, and we're going back. Yes, rat hole. So I'll be coming back throughout this afternoon and this evening with different little snippets here from Food and Wine EPCOT's Food and Wine episode, special episode here, not Minecraft episode. And we'll see you guys here in just a little bit. Bye. And we have many more tasty, yummy food thingies. Okay, so we have, and of course we are joined by Mrs. Tasel. Hello, Mrs. Tasel. Okay, so what do we have here?
We have the roasted Irish sausage.
That's that
with the Colcannon potatoes and onion gravy. A warm Irish cheddar cheese and stout dip with the Irish brown bread. Disney Food Blog recommended that. The warm chocolate pudding with an Irish cream liqueur custard. And then our 2 drinks, Josh got the Guinness Blonde American Lager, and I got the Twinings Pumpkin Chai Tea Frozen Cocktail.
Okay, now most of
caramel vodka.
With caramel vodka, yes, because caramel vodka is yummy and delicious. Okay, so we haven't. I think we've had the
the
lava. Oh yes,
it's
it's molten. You see as you cut in, it's the molten sort of lava cake. So a lot of these I don't think we've had. I think we've had the warm chocolate pudding before, which she's enjoying quite a bit already. Okay, so I'm not a big beer person, so most of the beer stuff, enjoyment of the beer stuff is going to come from the Mrs.
Melts in my mouth.
Melts?
So good. It's so good.
Well, then I'm going to take a fork and have some myself here. Cutting things backwards is hard. Okay, so get some of the sauce here. So I'm not a chocolate person, but this is not overly bitter. This is not overly sweet. It really does melt quite a bit. Wow. It is very rich though. Very, very rich. It doesn't leave, like some chocolates and some sweetness, leave that aftertaste in your mouth. This doesn't really have any of that. You just taste sort of like eating baking chocolate, almost, which is quite nice. I would give that... See, the problem is with desserts, it's a little harder. Probably a 3.5? Yeah, I'd say a 3.5. Just because it is a dessert. It's... do I want to make it a 4?
I gave it a 4.
I'll make it a 3.75. Because I don't like whole numbers. Okay, so that is, of course, we started with the dessert. Because, that's the way this works.
So good.
That's so good. Okay, so let's try this. This was the Twinings tea, so we got the Twinings tea.
With caramel vodka.
The smell alone is quite nice. This reminds me of the caramel candles at Yankee Candle. They are what you would expect the Yankee Candle caramel to taste like. I don't really taste too much. No, yeah, that's the only way I can describe it. It's good, but that's really the only way I can describe it. Probably give that a give that a 3.25. Again, because I'm difficult. How about you? On both of the things that you have there, you gave it. She's much more nice with her ratings. Putting a 4. Okay. Now that we've had all the sweet things, and our taste buds have been completely. Let's. So again, as I was saying before, I'm not much of a beer person. Most of the beer recommendations, if you enjoy beer, are probably going to come from Mrs. Tasel over there. But this is the American lager. I prefer my beers more blonde and not quite as bitter, not quite as no offense, bitter rabbits. Yeah, I prefer them just to enjoy them. So.
You want to go in France? You don't want food. You want to eat food there? They have creme brulee.
It's a blonde beer. It's probably gonna be more up your alley, but I mean it's not bad. No. Now the other thing is we just had a whole bunch of sweet, so that could have affected.
I drink enough beer to know.
Okay, so she's not a big fan. Oh, it's Donald. Hello, Donald. Donald Duck has just come out. Can you see, guys? Yeah, right there. Donald Duck. Anyway, so would I wanted to have it again? Probably not. There's a lot of beers I do enjoy drinking, but I'd probably give this a 2.5 maybe. Better than your average beer because it's a blonde, but that's about it. So there's that. So yeah, I'd say a 2.5 on this one. I mean, I'm gonna drink it. Don't get me wrong. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so here we have. Now, is this supposed to be I don't know if this is supposed to be a soup or if this is supposed to be a dip.
A dip.
It's a dip. Okay, so it's supposed to be a little thick. It's supposed to be a. Okay. That almost tastes like I'm eating bread. Like a cheese bread or something.
It's definitely odd.
Bread's good. By themselves, they're fine. Together, very creamy, very cheesy, very bready. I could see this being very useful at like a fondue place. Or even as a group appetizer. I could see dipping like breadsticks into it, like at a party or something like that. That'd be quite good. Have you had it with the bread?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did? Okay. I would say separate, they're actually not as good as they are together. They really do need each other to sort of balance out. You need the bread to sort of cut down on the thickness and the heaviness of the dip, and you need the flavors of the dip to actually bring out some more flavor in the bread. I'd probably give that just a straight 3. Pretty much what I'd expect from Disney.
I agree.
3 from you as well. Okay, so we got one more here. This is what is this again? This is the
Roasted Irish sausage.
roasted Irish sausage on top of what? Roasted Irish sausage on top of colony potatoes and onion gravy.
So I ate the potatoes and the onions separate, and it's delicious. The sausage is a little bland, but it's Ireland. And being Irish, I know that's generally a thing.
Yeah, they mash. It's basically mashed potato, onion-based mashed potato.
But it's not a creamy. It's a little thicker. It's nice, seasoned really well. I could eat a bowl of that on its own, but the sausage is just not.
The sausage tastes like breakfast sausage. There's a little bit of sauce over here. Oh no, that's onion. So there's a little bit of caramelized onion, Let me grab. Oh, you're gonna cut a little.
I'll cut it for
I'm trying to get all of it together here. And maybe like the stout dip. Maybe it's better when you have it all together. Let's try that out, shall we? I mean, it's good. As with most of the things here, it's good. I wouldn't say
It's
outstanding.
not spectacular at all.
Um,
I'm giving it a 3.
yeah, I'm probably gonna give it a 3 as well. Definitely flavorful.
Like,
I
if
would not
if I-
have it.
If I ordered it from somewhere and it was brought to me, I would eat the whole plate, but I don't know if I'd order it again.
Yeah. You know, that's a good point. You know what? I'm dropping mine to 2.5 then. Dropping mine to a 2.5. Just because it's breakfast sausage with mashed potatoes. So there's that. Okay, so we're gonna head off here and make a couple more stops. We do have a food and wine pairing in a bit here that we need to get to, but we're gonna try to do one more. Before that, I believe we're gonna try to do Brazil and one of the items at Belgium. Correct? That sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So hopefully we'll see you guys here. Belgium again, but for now we're just getting the savory thing. We got the beer braised beef with smoked Gouda mashed potatoes.
And sour.
You got that. Not the beer. Not the beer. We also went over to Brazil and we got the frozen caparina. She speaks things, I know. Which features lemon blanc cachaca, so C with a weird little squiggle on it, as well as the cheesy.
The blanc shashaka.
Say it, what is it?
The blanc shashaka.
What she said. We also have these nice cheesy bread things. They call them. Where is it? The Peo de Quijo, I guess? Quijo. And then we also have this over here, which is the crispy pork belly, which is delicious. We've had it before. Hopefully it's still delicious. Okay, so let's try the Brazil one here. So we got Belgium. Sorry, Belgium. Oh, that sauce is flavorful. Get a little bit of that. Very, very flavorful. It's very much a stew in the way it is in terms of the flavor, the texture. It's a little thicker than a normal stew, though. So it's definitely been reduced, and because it's been reduced, the flavors are quite concentrated. The cheesy mashed potatoes, gouda-y. I'm not a big fan of most mashed potatoes. I prefer mine on the more chunky side because I like texture. Still very good flavors though. Probably give that a 4, honestly. I could eat a big bowl of that for dinner.
Yeah, I could too. Probably gonna go with a 4. I like my comfort foods.
Yeah, it's very much a comfort food. Very much I don't know if I could eat a lot of it though. It's very rich. Not tart.
Like a mug. Like a mug filled with stew.
Yeah. Something you'd eat on a cold winter day. Luckily, it's a little chilly for Florida down here. One of the cast members like, oh, it's the first cold day that she's bundled up in a jacket. Meanwhile, here I am in, shorts and a t-shirt. It's what, 73, I think. Yeah. So that's Belgium. We will be returning to Belgium. They have quite a bit of other things, but mostly they're breakfast foods. And being that we're going to be going to a food and wine pairing here in Morocco in about half an hour.
I'm just going to interject and say that I am not as fond of the crispy pork belly this time around.
Really?
The beans and the accoutrements, using Josh's word, that goes with it is very good. But I don't know, I'm not really digging the pork belly itself.
Okay. We loved it, so much so that we were originally going to buy 2. But just because we do have the food and wine pairing so close, we weren't going to do that. Love the beans. But you don't like the pork belly. Is it just overcooked? Or?
It feels like it's dry.
Yeah, I think last year it was a little bit more melt in the mouth.
Tender.
Very, very crispy on the outside. Very, very dissolving on the inside. Yeah, it's a little dry. I mean, with the beans.
I'm actually really disappointed with Brazil this year.
It makes it a little better. I mean, it's still yummy, but it's definitely dry. It wasn't as good as we remember from previous years. You're also not a fan of the bread?
I feel the cheese bread is lacking a little flavor. It's just bread with cheese. There's not much flavoring going on in there.
I don't think there was that much flavor before either. It literally is breaded. It's probably shredded cheese mixed with Bisquick dropped into, it's a little more chewy than I remember.
That I don't mind. I just think there's something missing.
Like garlic or salt and pepper. Not as good as previous years. Last time I remember thinking it was like, oh, it's like the, almost like the stuff you get at Red Lobster. Unfortunately, this is more like the Bisquick version that I make at home with the Red Lobster sort of recipe.
This was actually something you would want to put this on the list.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in both of these. I still think the pork belly, even though it's dry, is probably a 3. It's been a lot better in the past.
Where'd the fork go?
In my hand.
Oh. I like the beans.
Beans are yummy. Probably give the pork a 3. It should be a 4, if not a 4.5. But as I said, it's just dry. It's not as crispy as it was before. Good cheese bread, I'm actually quite disappointed in. I have to give that a 2.5. 2.5 on that?
Yeah, I gave it a 2.5.
Okay, 2.5.
I
Okay.
gave the bread a 2.5 also.
Give that a 2.5 as well?
Just not. It's missing something.
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't have a lot of flavor. Unfortunately. Okay, so this is the, what was this again? The
Frozen Ciparina.
Frozen Ciparina. So another alcoholic slushy. Whew.
Sour. Bullshit.
I was thinking more of the alcohol.
No.
Or maybe that's just the sour. Don't know. Does give a good counterbalance to the very richness of the other items, especially even the Belgian one. This is reminding me of something. It's reminding me of tequila almost. Like a lemon tequila or something like that.
It's like a margarita.
Yeah, kind of like a margarita. A very thick margarita, but little more sour than I'd probably like. Good, very thick, very creamy for having no cream in it. I give it a 3.5, I think. If it was a little less sour, probably give it a 4, but yeah.
I gave it a 2.5.
2.5 for you? Okay. So that's going to do it for the time being. We're going to, as I said, do a food and wine pairing over Morocco. And then later on in the day, we'll come back and do a little bit more. So hopefully I'll see you guys then. Bye. Behind me is quite interesting. It's inside, opposed to other places. It's inside, and everything's in blacklight. So that's kind of cool. Over there, you can see the science experiment area over there. And for those that are watching, not live, but watching later on the compiled YouTube version, you're seeing right now how they actually made one of our drinks, the T equals C squared drink, which is a tonic watermelon drink. We also have a RGB. I forget exactly what is in the RGB, but we have that. They also have outside a whole bunch of different beers, including the one that we got, which is the watermelon one. Okay, so the RGB is a citrus apple freeze. The T equals C squared is a vanilla tonic water and cotton candy, as you saw. And then also apparently limited time they have this giant fluorescent donut thing, which in the black light is just glowing. So, yes, and the watermelon goose ale. They have a whole bunch of beer outside that you can enjoy and take up. So let's start off with the RGB. This is a non-alcoholic drink. It's basically a nice little slush. That's not as heavy as I expected. I expected a lot more fruit, which I'm not sure is a good or a bad thing. It's very, very light. You know, I expected more. It's refreshing, but I expected more flavors. I expected a little bit more out of it. I'd probably give it a 2.5. It's a little bit less than I expect from Disney, but better than probably a lot of places that would just do a watermelon slush for it. So
I would give it a 3. I think it's refreshing. I like refreshing drinks that aren't heavy. So
okay, so that is that. Then we have the tonic. Vanilla tonic that literally was dissolved with cotton candy. So I'm expecting it to be a little sweet. Yeah, tastes like vanilla and cotton candy. Not too many levels of flavor there. Good. But a bit of a sugar bump. I'll have to go with a 2.5 with that too. Very interesting. Definitely interesting concept. Very cool to watch being made, but probably a 2.5 for me.
Also a 2.5. I think the execution of making it was the most fun part.
Yes. If we're going execution, incredibly cool. But you know, it probably could have been done just by pouring vanilla tonic on it as well. The donut is, well, just a giant
Vanilla
donut with sprinkles.
While he is chewing, I already took a bite of it, and I would say it's just like any regular vanilla donut you could get at Dunkin' Donuts. So 2.5 just for that reason.
Yeah, it's a good donut, but nothing special. I'd even give it just a 2. It's what I would expect from a normal, good place outside of the world, so nothing huge there. Next up is the watermelon beer. So this might be interesting. It might just be beer. Well, we'll find out here in a second. I'm not, it could be because I just had that donut, but I don't think watermelon and beer go together. I'm probably gonna have to give that a 1.5, maybe a 2. Would this be something I would drink outside? No, I'm gonna have to give this a 1.5. 1.5 for me.
I'm actually giving it a 3. I think it has a little bit of it's almost like a fizziness, which is kind of nice. And I think the taste is really good too. It's not very heavy. It doesn't taste hoppy. It's not really beer-like at all. So I do kind of enjoy it.
Okay, so my taste buds might be a little off just because I don't like beer, or I just had a giant vanilla sugar bomb of frosting. So in that donut. Okay, so that is the Taste Lab here at Disney's Food and Wine 2017. Definitely a very interesting experience. Definitely come here for the experience. The food is fine, but yeah, the experience is definitely a lot more, unfortunately, well executed than the objects that they're actually serving. see you guys here in just a little bit.